Discovering Kazakhstan is Jonathan Newell's unbiased view on culture and the mode of life of Kazakh people, on amazing landscapes and architectural masterpieces all over Kazakhstan.
The landscape and scenery of Kazakhstan is very varied and interesting, nowhere more so than the Almaty region where we are today. You can see behind me this wonderful undulating hilly area that goes down, rolling into the steppe plains. Well, this is where we're starting our journey today, and we're going to go to a place which is very famous in the region for its outstanding natural beauty, high up in the mountains, a lake area. Well, I mentioned about the changing landscape and the changing scenery in the Almaty region, and this is a very good example of it. These are like big mounds, big dunes of aggregate, where it's very loose material, there's a lot of rock here, there's a lot of sand. It's like semi-desert land around here, and you can see around as well these cliff faces of sandstone, very, very beautiful, being carved out over millions of years through the wind and the rain, and of course the rivers. We're very near here to a place called Charin, where there's a canyon, which is one of the great canyons of the world, and that's not far from this place here. That's not our destination today. We're going further up into the mountains. The roads are still a long way to go, and the scenery will change even more so.
The searing heat of the steppe is suddenly broken by the coolness of the Charin River, which is a ribbon-like oasis gushing through the dry earth. The cool flowing water provides a perfect place for picnics or simply relaxing and enjoying some respite from the heat. The fertile strip along its shores also provide a splash of beauty, a reminder of the life-giving properties of water.
Just take a look at that landscape. It's so soft and gentle, you could feel that you could just melt into it. Actually, I feel as though I'm on the set of The Sound of Music. Well, as you can see, we've come up from the bone-dry steppe into this wonderful green pasture land now, and behind these rolling little hills here and the pine forest behind them, there's the jagged mountains sticking up behind, and that is part of the Tian Shan mountain range. This is the Zailiysky Alatau, and within there's a special lake. It's very high up, it's very difficult to get to, but it's worth every single moment. It's called Kolsai Lake, and that's where we're heading now. Well, you can see that the scenery has changed now dramatically. We've moved from the Sound of Music territory into the Hobbit territory as we've climbed higher into these mountains. Look behind me and you can see these dramatic mountain peaks, the dramatic valleys cut out into the earth there. You can also see the way the road goes. It twists and twines through these undulations, and then it goes over the top of that green pasture land over into the dip behind it. That's where Lake Kolsai is, and that's where we're going to go now. We've arrived, and you can see behind me Lake Kolsai. Kolsai actually means the valley lake. Kol is lake and Sai is valley. And you can see it is in this very deep crevice-like valley. And this valley, of course, has always been there. It's always been that kind of shape. But there wasn't always a lake there. It used to be a river. But a catastrophic earthquake event caused this to fill up and become a lake. Not just one lake, but there are three of them. Now, this valley extends for a long way. This particular lake is 2 kilometers long. If we go beyond that, in another 6 kilometers, there's a second lake in the group, and then another 8 kilometers beyond that, there's the third lake in the group. So we're actually looking at the first of a string of beads of lakes. Now, once you get beyond that, there's this valley end, and you go over a mountains ridge, and that takes you down into the territory of neighboring Kyrgyzstan. This lake is a lot deeper than you probably think, and you can see that with the varying colours across the lake surface. At its deepest point, at its blackest point, it's 76 metres deep.
At 1,800 metres above sea level, this first lake in the Kolsai group is comparatively low compared to the others, which rise higher into the mountains to reach the level of the third lake at 2,700 metres. With no road between them, seeing all three lakes requires at least a full day of hiking for the fit and adventurous. Beyond this lake, there are no further settlements until reaching beyond the national border into Kyrgyzstan.
One of the things I really like about this lake is the fact that it's been unspoilt. It's very natural, it's got a lot of natural beauty, and it hasn't been commercialised. There are a few people who are selling things to eat, and there's one or two of these little pleasure boats on the lake, but not too many, so it's not overrun with commercial fancy things. So let's go and have a ride on the lake. Ah, хорошо, ладно, спасибо. Oh, that's great. Does that suit? Let's go. Oh, this place is fantastic. My goodness me. Wow. Such nature, such beauty. It's quite literally breathtaking. This place is incredible. The sun's gone behind the cloud and the water has changed its atmosphere completely. It's this deep kind of turquoise colour now. It's quite forbidding in some ways, but in the sunshine it's bright and it's cheerful. It has all different kinds of atmospheres depending on the weather, the conditions, if it's sunny or if it's behind the cloud. But it's gorgeous, and just look how calm these waters are. Calm, soft, not terribly warm though.
Having fun in the water is a necessity in such wonderful surroundings, and taking part in swimming, paddling, boating or operating a pedalo is all part of that fun. But other activities can also be enjoyed here, including hiking, pony trekking or simply relaxing on the shore and enjoying a picnic with friends and family.
The Zailiysky Alatau mountains, which is where we are at the moment, is a ridge that's part of the Tian Shan mountain range, and it's peppered with little lakes all over the place. There's many of them. Some of them are near to big cities, so they're quite easy to get to. Others, like this one, are quite remote, so it's quite difficult to get here. Well, it's not difficult, but it actually takes a long time. It's worth the effort. I think that as far as I'm concerned, what I've seen of these lakes that are in the Zailiysky Alatau, I think Kolsai is my favourite by a long margin, because it is so dramatic and so beautiful. And also, to get here, rather than being such a long slog of a journey, it takes you through beautiful and dramatic countryside, which in itself is worth the journey.
Being such a long way from main population centres, finding somewhere to stay the night is an important part of coming to Kolsai. It isn't clear what will happen to these wonderful lodges as the area becomes more developed, but their pastel colours and random construction styles currently add a kind of avant-garde quality to the lake approaches, a charm that would certainly be lost if replaced by anything more conventional.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You can also stay here and spend the night, spend a few days here if you want, because there is accommodation laid on. But if you're expecting first-class hotel accommodation, forget it, you won't get it. What you will get is one of these very interesting Hunter's Lodge style accommodation units here. I like them very much because they're all different. They've all got their own different architecture, their own different style and their own different signature that they place on this location, which I think is great. If you don't want one of those, you can stay in a tent, and at the other side of the lake there's a place that's been allocated for people who want to camp here. So there's lots of options available, or you could stay in the local town, which isn't terribly far away from here. Well, I think you'll agree that Kolsai Lake is rather pretty. It's a stunning place, and it's just one of the many beautiful places that are in this region and also in the country as a whole. So I hope you'll join me again to discover this wonderful country again in the future in Discovering Kazakhstan. Goodbye.